Hey everybody, this morning I introduced my membership to a brand new robot, and I'm going to share with you some details on that robot right now in a video and right here. So the purpose of a robot, for me anyway, is to automate the process of getting into trades that otherwise I'd have to sit in front of the charts and wait for. And in this case, this is a daily chart robot, which means this is going to look for big trends over long time frames with a smaller stop loss and a giant profit target. So let's cut to a scene in today's webinar for members where I introduce this robot.
On that note, I would like to talk to you about a new trading methodology that is, I think, directly related to the sixth rule, and that is the Rj Rsi Robot, which uses the daily chart, an RSI, and the exponential moving average. So you can use other time frame charts as well, but let's use the daily chart. Let's talk about the RSI 14 to begin with, and let's talk about an exponential moving average of 6. Now, the good news is our friend Dan Hill in our lifetime membership has already completed the first draft of this robot, and I can make this available to you, lifetime members, today inside of the lifetime member premium indicators and robots area, and then we can play around with this together. I don't think it's done, I don't think it's ready for live trading, but I think it's fun to play around with, and I can't wait to show it to you right now. Here we go. This is the British pound US dollar, and these are standard indicators, but RJ really did something extraordinary and special, and I'm really excited to I think he's really onto something here, and he's talking about what is, not what we wish it would be or whatever else. Okay, this is the British pound US dollar on the daily chart. Take a look at area number 1 on the screen in front of us. On area number 1 on the screen in front of us, the RSI, set to 14 in this case, has gone overbought. That's condition number 1. In circle number 2, a candle has closed below the EMA 6. That triggers a sell trade. Now that doesn't work out. You can see here that price does not move lower. It actually goes higher. But that is a trade setup. Check this out. In area number 1, you'll see in green, the RSI goes overbought, above 70, and RSI set to 14. And then the price, the candle, closes below the EMA 6. And that is a sell trade, and price goes lower. You can see over here, price goes so high that the relative strength index goes overbought. And then a candle closes below the EMA 6, and then price travels lower. Now, this isn't going to work every single time. That's ridiculous, correct? That's totally ridiculous. That's not going to work every single time. However, I'd like to take a look together with you at testing this. You want to test a little bit of this together? Let's test a little bit of this together. So here I am inside of my tester account with the Rj Rsi Daily Robot version 1.1. That's the latest version as of the time I'm doing this video. And then we've got some settings. The magic number, which distinguishes robot trades from discretionary trades. Slippage, which is, of course, you know what slippage is. The max spread, pips, is the maximum spread that can occur if a trade is going to be taken. Lot size for the trade, stop loss in dollars, profit in dollars. RSI period, I set it to 14, but you can set it to something else. RSI high, RSI low, RSI within candles back. So this is a setting which looks and says if the RSI goes overbought and within 4 candles we break below the moving average, we can take a trade. Let's set that to 7, and let's click OK. And let's do a test. 2016 to the present. I don't really know if this is going to be profitable or not. It doesn't really matter. I just want to show you some testing. So this is on my server, and usually the server will crash momentarily. I'm excited for you to do some back testing with this robot. Douglas is excited to do some back testing. Tamar is excited to do some back testing. I'm going to do a lot of testing this week on not just this robot, but also our brand new breakout robot as well. Now this doesn't look great, right? This is losing right here. That's fine, right? Okay, so total net profit was negative $571. Okay, that's fine. Maybe what we did was we were going for too much profit. So let's try to go for like $300 in profit as opposed to $500. In order to make $500 on a trade, it has to move 500 pips, the British pound US dollar, using one mini lot. And asking for a move of 500 pips is probably a little bit ridiculous. So let's do another test and see. We lowered our profit target, and the robot is now looking like it can make some scratch. Nice. Ulrich says, robot seems promising. Nacho says, hugs. Hugs back to you, Nacho. Yeah, a lot of people excited here to take a look at this robot today. And in this case, our robot was profitable. In this case, we made $600 over the course of that time. Now, that doesn't mean that we took a lot of trades. We only took 8 trades, but we took 8 trades and we still made $600 because our winners are bigger than our losers. I think there's a lot of potential here for you to play around with this robot and find some settings and optimize for some settings that will work on even shorter time frame charts. This is intended to be a trend trading robot. As you can see on the screen in front of you, it's intended that this robot will find the bigger trend trades right when the trend begins. Now, it's not perfect, and we're going to have to play around with the stop loss and play around with the profit target, maybe even play around with the exponential moving average that we're using and other settings as well. But that's why we have a community of traders working together to do some of this work.
All right, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at that Rj Rsi Robot. That robot is available to members today, and for the first time only, and I'm just going to do this for the next 24 hours because I don't want to peeve anybody off. I have a way for you to get membership and start the membership and get this robot and get all the robots for way less than you've ever been able to do that before. In fact, I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't want to peeve anybody off. But if you follow the link below this video, or at the bottom of the YouTube video, or at the bottom of this video on the page, I'm going to send you to a link where you can get information on membership and become a member today and get your greedy little robot paws on this robot and chat with all of our friends from all around the world about optimizing the robots and trading the robots together and automating our trading so that we stop making the decisions that were bad and we stop becoming our own worst enemy in our trading. And you have a family of traders all around the world to work together with. I'm Rob Booker. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you on the inside.